What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Wake up with me. It's your man, Trayvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. Man, this morning, this past month, really, this whole month, I've been in go mode, right? I've been in go mode, but I'm like, man, what what's really happening? I've been taking a lot of time to self-analyze and self-reflect. I've been using a lot of the morning to do just that and just pay attention to myself, like what's going on with you, and do some of that inner work that we talk about, you know. And one of the things I had to come back to, shout out to my mentor, shout out to my coach. He has a book, From Worry to Winning, the 7 winning ways to your personal success. His name is Dwayne Bennett. You can find him on Facebook, right? His name is Dwayne Bennett. You can find him on Facebook. I believe you can DM him for to purchase the book. When I was under his tutelage, when I was under his coaching, one of the things that he was telling me and had to repeatedly tell me was, son, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And I was like, at the time, I was like, what is he talking about? Like, that didn't make sense to me. What do you mean slow down in order to speed up? No, speed up means speed up, go faster. No, sometimes you have to slow down in order to speed up. Let's talk about it. Every generation prior to yours, every generation, every older generation, the one prior, says the same things about the next generation. They say the same things. They say, oh man, y'all don't have any patience. Oh man, you're trying to rush things. There's no need to rush, right? You're trying to live too fast. You're living too fast, son. You're living too fast. What does this mean? What does it mean that you're trying to do too much? You're going too fast. We explained that patience is a virtue, but we also realize that's one of the only things we consider virtuous, and a lot of people lack. We talked about patience on here before. To have patience is to have faith in the fact that the desired outcome will come. Like, I don't have to rush because I'm going to win. Hmm? I don't need to be as fast when it's definite that I'm gonna make it. Like, I don't require to see. And I got this for myself because you want to achieve big goals early. You want that accolade of youth. You want that accolade of, oh, I did that in my, 20s, 30s. I'm a millionaire before, or you got the 20 under 20 list. You got the 30 under 30 list. You know what I mean? It's a it's a it's a big accolade for you to get a certain outward outcome at an early age. But every elder I've spoken to, every older generation that acknowledged my internal struggle, because this is an internal struggle, every one of them has pinpointed, like, you're on the right track. You're on the right path. What's the rush? What's the rush? Slow it down. Here's why you should slow down. and how slowing down speeds you up. You could be going fast, but you're going in the wrong direction. So no matter how fast you're not headed in the right path. You're not headed in the right way. Now imagine that. If you're going fast, but in the wrong direction, how much longer it's going to take for you to get back on the right path? Ooh. Hmm? We are so obsessed with haste. And haste, you are blinded by speed that gives you the illusion of progress. You are blinded by speed and it's giving you the illusion of progress. We figure since we're doing so much or going so fast that we're making progress. And that's not true. More often than not, it's not true. When we focus on speed, we usually wind up being busy, right? We've given ourselves a lot of tasks. Cool. You could do a lot of stuff and not get anything accomplished. You can do a lot of stuff and not get anything accomplished going nowhere fast. You burning yourself out. You burning yourself out. You look at what a burnout is. It's a car that is mashing the gas and ain't going nowhere. You burning rubber, smoke coming from the tire, and ain't going nowhere. But your speed is up there. Your speed is up there, but you're not going anywhere. All gas, no brakes. See, what we don't realize, what we don't fully understand is that life is a process. It's all about the process, bro. I know. I know. It's not sexy, but it's all about the process, bro. And you can't rush the process. Trying to move fast throughout all of this stuff, like I said, you miss key moments, you miss factors, right? You miss those learning points. When you rush, when you're trying to move fast, you'll realize that you come across the same problems over and over again. What's happening? What's happening when you come across those same problems? You come across the same problems because you have yet to learn from what this problem is teaching you. These problems, shout out to Paul D. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And if you aren't able to absorb the message, or if you don't truly learn, then you'll continue going across the same problem, meeting the same type of people, interactions. You'll realize that you seem stuck. You seem stuck. What progress is actually happening? You doing a lot, you moving fast, but where you going? Another thing that happens when you rushing, when you trying to move fast, youngin, I'm talking to I'm talking to the youth now. I'm talking to the younger me. You lose sight of self. Not only do you lose sight of self, but you miss those moments of self recognition, of being able to learn who you are, what it is that you actually feel, right? What is actually aligned with you. We talk about being authentic and we talk about alignment and we talk about all this stuff that sound good. But if you're rushing, you're not on your own pace, you're not on your own path, right? And you're not willing to stop to see yourself, if you disacknowledge yourself, if you I don't have no emotions and don't acknowledge yourself, man, you losing that life. You are losing that life, man. Wherever you're trying to go, if you were to slow down, you can get there faster. I don't need to give the story of the rabbit and the tortoise and the hare. It's the turtle versus a rabbit in a race. A rabbit is much faster, but it come across all of the distractions. Another thing that illusion of haste gives you. Oh, I'm ahead. I'm ahead, so I can pay attention. I can lose my sight of focus. I can, get distracted and do other things because I'm already ahead in this, you know what I'm saying? In this race. Meanwhile, if you was to move slow and steady, you be focused, straight ahead, less distractions. Hmm? You'll get to your destination quicker. You'll get to your destination quicker by moving at a steady pace. Even with working out, I'm talking about this applies to every area of life. Even with working out. If they call it TUT, time under tension. If you lift weights all fast, you're not gonna get much progress. But if you slow it down, you focus on your form, you focus on feeling, you focus on reps, you focus on your breathing. When you slow it down, it's way more effective. You get way more gains. Huh? You gotta slow it down. And I see somebody doing any exercise, they're doing it all fast. I'm like, they are missing so many more areas, so many more muscles. It looks good to the untrained eye. They're like, knock it out. It's done. Okay. But if you slow it down, this is one of the reasons why, like, people think they could outrun me. People think they could, when it comes to physical, I don't got a six pack showing, but I am in great condition. I am in great shape because I take my time. So I got more stamina. I got more wind, lung capacity. I'm more capable because I take my time, right? Back to the tortoise and the hare. There are no shortcuts. The longest road to success is through shortcuts. It's going to take you so much more time. Man, I wish more people understood this. I had to learn it myself. I had to learn it myself. Trying to take the shortcut, the shorter road, trying to avoid right? It's a twofold part to this because I want to emphasize that when you're under the teachings of and guidance of someone who's been there, done that, you can shortcut the process if you can learn from others' experiences. But there is no shortcut. That's just a different path. You know what I mean? So that's why coaching, I'm a mindset coach for those who don't know. That's why coaching, that's why mentoring, that's why, that's why advice at all is I've been through this. This is what this looks like. This is what I had to do to overcome this. So you could be more prepared if and when this comes. Now, there are no shortcuts though. That's not taking a shortcut. Imagine if you could see how long it was going to take to, like, yeah, you'll become a millionaire, but it's going to take you 10 years. And somebody says, oh, I can get you there in two. And you go this away, right? And you get over there and then you realize that what they're saying that's going to get you there in two, you have to learn XYZ skill, which takes time. You have to master certain techniques, which takes time. You have to sacrifice more of over here, whatever was your priorities. That could be detrimental. The reward is not worth the risk. So what was going to take you 2 years over here has taken you 12 when you could have just stayed on the path of 10. It seems like my computer is glitching a lot this morning. That's because we got a good message that they're trying to block out. That's what I take it when technology started messing with me. My technology don't mess up until I push live. That's when it's like, uh-uh. Nonetheless, there are no shortcuts to success. None. None. You have to go through it. You have to grow through it. You can hand somebody a fully laid out business plan, and I guarantee you they'll pick the parts that look good to them. And that business won't succeed until they realize that I need this whole piece. I need completion of the whole process. It's the process. And it could be a slow process, but when you focus on just going through the process, you get through it quicker. When you're willing to slow down, you're able to speed up. When you're able to slow down, you're able to speed up. Okay. This goes in hand with multitasking. That's a myth. We cannot multitask. That's for every person that I know that triggered that thought, like, I multitask all the time. I can do this and this, but you're not. What's actually happening is you are switching from task to task so quickly that you don't realize that you're not doing more than one thing at a time. You can only do one thing at a time. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So That's another lie of haste. That's another illusion of speed. You think that you're doing or moving so fast. I'm getting so much done. And I do this because I'm a action person. So I'm doing a lot. I acknowledge this about myself. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm telling you. I do this too. I was just doing it yesterday. Wifey went to go get her nails done. I was like, okay, I got about an hour to get some stuff straight that I needed to get straight in my peace and solitude. You know what I'm saying? In my own time. I was like, I got about an hour to do these things. And when I started off, I was like, yo, I'm trying to do everything. I got to do everything in an hour. You know what I mean? So I'm here. And then I'm like, oh, let me go over here. And then I'm like, oh, let me get this started. Oh, I'm like, oh. And before I knew it, 15 minutes had went past and I ain't did nothing. I said, hold on, bro. Hold on. I breathed, took like 2-3 minutes to myself, just sat still. Then I prioritized. Let me do this one thing. And I get antsy, right? So I'm doing this one thing while I'm thinking about I could be doing that too. Then it's like, nah, bring it back, focus on this, get it done, then go to the next thing. When I did that, it didn't take me the whole hour. When I slowed down, the speed was there. When I slowed down, the speed was there. It didn't take me the whole hour to do my task list, to complete my task list. But if I kept on running back and forth, oh man, I would have wore myself out. I probably would have finished one instead of all of my tasks. I would have got upset that I didn't meet, my time frame, my deadline. So then it would have been like, hey, now I feel behind. I am behind. And then I'll get frustrated from all of the rest of the day I got to do. I wouldn't have been able to do all of the stuff I did. I did a lot, but it's because I was able to slow it down. When you slow down, you can see what's ahead of you. When you slow down, you can see what's ahead of you. Moving too fast, you're liable to crash. You didn't see that obstacle coming. You didn't see that trap set. You didn't see what was about to happen because you just want to keep on moving all fast. So when you slow it down, you realize there's no multitasking. When you understand that you're just jumping from one task to another real quickly, so fast, like even with cooking, if anybody know how to cook, if you cutting potatoes and got something in the skillet, right? You could be jumping from one to one. Whereas if you was just took the time to cut the potatoes before you put whatever in the skillet, you wouldn't have to keep stopping to check the skillet. There's no multitasking. You're just jumping from one task to another real quickly. Another reason to slow it down, right? But I love this book. I love this book by my mentor, my coach, Mr. Dwayne Bennett. Find him on Facebook. The From Worry to Winning, the 7 winning ways to your personal success. He has the winning solution, right? And one of the things he says is to focus. And I'll do a whole nother live on that segment. But he says focus is an acronym. Focus means follow one course until successful. Slow it down. Follow one course until successful. I love that because everybody talks about mindset. Here we go. Everybody talks about skill sets. It's a set of skills. It's a way of thinking. How do you develop your mindset? One thing at a time. How do you develop a skill set? One skill at a time. When I tried to learn a new language, get into a new routine of working out, you know what I'm saying, budget differently. When I tried to do everything all at once, oh, I'm a whole new person, just like that, it didn't last a month. I wound up not doing any of it. Any of it. I actually suffered more in those areas. But when I took time for each area, I was able to solidify some things. Now I know over 300 words in another language, right? Now I know what works for me as far as budgeting. I know certain numbers I need and what's going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? I can foreshadow, like, okay, if this is what I got, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I want to be. So this is what I need. I don't really need this. I don't really need that. I could budget. I could do things accordingly when I slowed down and focused on these things by themselves. Follow one course until successful. In this book, I'll go ahead and give you an example. It says everybody has some type of personal exercise goal, fitness goal, health goal. And there's so many different ways to approach, so many different ways to achieve whatever goal you have, whatever version of healthy or better that you have in your mind that you want for you. Says that, he tried lifting weights, going all crazy in the gym, didn't work for him. Tried, crazy extreme diets, cutting out everything over here or everything over there, didn't work for him. It wasn't until he started running where he found, a connection to it. It worked for him. And now this man runs like 5 miles a day. And he in his, I think he in his 60s. And this man running 5 miles a day? Not I. Like, that's just what he do? Like, you running miles, plural, under an hour? There's so many different ways, man. There's so many ways to achieve a goal, so many ways to get to that destination. But you just gotta focus on your path. He wouldn't know what didn't work for him if he didn't focus on and do the thing. And he did each one enough to realize I'm not making no progress. My body not changing, right? I'm not losing weight. I may not even be doing this right. It don't fit for me. It's not working for me. Hmm? but the goal didn't change. Just had to find his path to that destination. And it's the same for you all. It's the same for us all. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Take time to breathe. Take time to feel. You're not going to remember your thoughts. You're not going to remember what you thought at a certain moment, right? You're not going to remember all of your decisions. What you are going to remember is the moments. Life is measured by your moments. It's created, it's remembered. We reminisce on the moments. We've learned from the moments. Our experiences, what I'm able to share with you, comes from the moments. And you collect those. I become a collector of the moments. But you can't create the moment in haste. You can't create the moment through speed. Even if, even if you get the desired outcome, when you rush to get there, you miss so much. You miss the opportunity to create that moment. You miss certain connections. You miss other things that are supposed to be prioritized. You miss so much when you rush through it. I remember, give you like two more stories. I remember me and my wife, we like to travel, we like to cruise. I remember our first few cruises to my core. Like, I take pictures and videos to document a lot of stuff. I don't need it to remember those. I was so in the moment that it's ingrained. It has become, those experiences have become great markers in our marriage. Things that we can reflect on, reminisce together, moments that brought us closer, experiences we never experienced before, first times together. And just thinking about it, I feel it. You can time travel with recreating moments. It's the moments. When I think about those first cruises, I'm right back there to the point where I see the scene. I feel that room, that energy, right? I feel, that area, that moment so much. I can smell it. I can taste it. I can feel the wind. I remember how she looked with the wind blowing. I remember the exact movements that she made. I remember the eye contact. I remember I remember now what I thought because of what I felt. But I wouldn't have those moments if I was just trying to rush through it. Exhibit A, example A. After going on enough cruises, we got used to the process. It's not new anymore, right? But the destinations we were going to was new. So it was like, okay, we know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go here, do da 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 da. And it became routine, even though it was new stuff. It became routine. And that dulled the experience. We had a whole itinerary since we well versed in travel now. We had a whole itinerary of all these things that we wanted to do. I wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, we have a certain amount of time to do all of these things. Let's go do all of these things. There were so many times that I neglected myself. I neglected the needs of my wife just to get whatever task done that I don't even remember. Trying to move so fast, I missed the opportunity to create some pivotal moments to bask in the beauty of the new surroundings, right? To absorb another culture, to indulge in where I was at with who I was there with. I missed a lot of those. We winded up going on the last cruise that we went on was the longest one we've been on. We went to the most I think we went to, like, 6 new places, and it wasn't until we got to a place that we've been before that we were relaxed. It wasn't until we got to a place that we've been before that we were able to just I was able to just slow down and let things be. And that's the most memorable part of the longest cruise that we've been on. All of these new places, right? All of these new experiences have not been able to set in because I was moving too fast. Please understand this. Please understand this. All of these new places I've been to have not been able to set in because I missed the moments. I missed the opportunity to create these moments by moving too fast. And it wasn't until I slowed down that I could create these moments that I now hold dear to my heart, that I now don't need a visual reminder to put me right back there. The most memorable part of the longest trip that we've taken out of the country, right? It was like 2 weeks. How many people could say they was 2 weeks out of the country? The most memorable part was when I slowed down and we back, you know, just was able to be present. Moments were created, moments that I can't forget. Like, I remember the conversation, I remember the feeling, I remember the taste of the ocean, I remember, the other people that were involved. So much happened, and so much happened when it seemingly was nothing going on. Man, you miss life by trying to move fast, man. Going too fast. But all of the ones that I wasn't rushing, it was a beauty and a gift to not know what to do, you know? My first cruise, we didn't even they have different like on a cruise, you got higher scale restaurants, You got different restaurants, you got dining rooms, you got buffets, you got all of these different options, right? Different tiers of experience. On my first cruise, I went to the buffet almost the entire cruise until like the last 2 days, and I got the dining experience, and I was like, "Where has this been this whole time?" Right? Doing too much. Once I got that, I was like, "Oh my goodness." I remember though, the moments were created. You have to slow down, speed up. I remember everything. And last but not least, rushing, trying to move too fast, focusing on speed and haste instead of a steady pace. That's a bar. Rushing can cause you to accept less. It can cause you to become desperate. It can cause you to be lesser value. Hmm? Rushing sets you up for failure, man. Rushing sets you up for failure. And I don't want you to fail. We winners over here. We winners over here. Rushing sets you up for failure. Hopefully, if you're rushing, hopefully the good thing that happened to you, which happens to all of us, is we, wind up knocking our head and then knocking some sense into ourselves. What I mean by that is after you've fallen enough times and get back up, you realize that, maybe it's my steps, maybe it's my pace. You start to learn, you start to pay attention, and you start to slow it down. I don't want you to have to knock your head too many times in order to learn that lesson. So please, speaking to the younger me and all of the younger me's out there, please do not rush to your goals. Accept yourself, acknowledge yourself, improve yourself always. But there's no rush. As much as we want things now, especially in today's age, all of the advancement of technology, pretty much since the cell phone, has been for convenience. You know, all of the technology is how can we lessen the time? And we wonder why we're at a point where there's no patience, there's no tolerance. You got all these mental illnesses and challenges all of a sudden, like that's running rampant, like to the point where it's normal. It's not normal. We're distracted. The demand is higher than the supply, but we're told that the supply is there. You can get everything at the push of a button, everything at the push of a button, at the tap of the phone, at the click of a screen. You can get everything. You can see whatever it is that you want. You ain't never been out the country, but I could see other countries. It's not the same as going to another country. It's not the same as getting your own experience. It's not the same as having to create, having to use your own hands. It's not the same as building. It's not the same, you know, they say it's a false sense of dopamine. That false dopamine, that false sense of achievement that you get from small things that usually come from a screen. I don't want to give the example that's in my head. I don't want to give the example that's in my head, but I'll say this: all of the unrealistic expectations of people because of people that you haven't met but have been able to see. If you ain't see it in person, more than likely it won't meant for you to see. If you didn't see it in person, more than likely it wasn't meant for you to see. Now that's my personal opinion, but it's actual. People that want to debate with me about man versus woman who are barely interacting with man or woman, you getting all your info from what's on the screen, you don't have a leg to stand on. Go get your own experience. Anybody that says majority this, majority that, majority people do, you don't know the majority. Get your own majority. What are majority of the people doing around you? What are you doing majority of the time? You are the majority. You contributing to this notion, whatever it is, majority who aren't, majority who don't. You're contributing to it. You know what I mean? But I'll dial it back. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up because rushing can cause you to accept less. You devalue yourself, huh? You'll take the lower job, the lower paying job just to have a job. You play it small when you know you was meant for large. You can stay with an unsuitable partner. All of this from trying to rush, trying to hurry up. You have unfinished tasks. You're incomplete. I know so many people who have wonderful ideas, wonderful ventures, wonderful businesses, wonderful missions and goals and organizations, and they start, but they don't stay on that path long enough for it to develop, for it to blossom. And they'll go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. When I'm like, yo, the thing that you started with, if you just stayed there, I know so many people who got like great products, packaging, labeling, right? Everything. And in 2, 3 months, they gone. Like, yo, I just finished using your product. I came back for more and it's not existent. You robbing me at this point. You robbing me of something good. Tell them, say yes. Wisdom comes from experience, not YouTube University. Now you can learn some stuff. We here. Y'all are here now. You can learn some things from the screen, from YouTube, from social media. You can learn some things, but those things learned are to be applied. They are to be applied. And until you have your own experience, you cannot say anything definitively about these things that you've learned. You can't even really say that you've learned it until you've applied it, right? Going back to this book, even with reading, it's not just a screen, but with reading. You know, when people say their coaches didn't work or their therapy didn't work or, you know, whatever profession, usually you don't stick to it. Trust me, I know enough people who I've coached, I've guided, and I'm like, yo, give it time. Like, bro, I tried communicating, bro. I tried communicating. It's not working. Um, it's been a week, sir. It's been a week. This problem with communication has been years. You think that it's just supposed to change in a week? No. No, no, no. That's not how that's gonna work. You gotta be consistent, and consistency only is shown through time. How long are you willing to try and try again? That's why it's a slow process. You're not gonna get instant results in life. If you do appreciate it, move on. That wasn't that wasn't a hard goal for you. That wasn't a large achievement for you when it's instantaneous. Is all right, done that. On to the next thing. And again, you miss a lot when you're trying to rush. So I've been here long enough. Y'all come back later tonight. We're going live. Got our next power people in the chamber. So be back here in about 12 hours. In about 12 hours, I'll be seeing you guys. Um, but yes, I just wanted to leave you all with that message is sometimes you have to slow down in order to speed up. And that has been a repeated mantra throughout my life because I'm big on action, right? I'm a big action taker. And I like to move. I'm always on the move. I do a lot. And doing a lot can cause burnout because you're not being productive. You're being busy. Being busy drains you of energy. Being productive gives you energy. So I often have to slow down in order to reflect, in order to see what's going on and where I am. What am I doing in order to make the adjustments to get back on the right path? And that's a continual process, and it's not for the fast or the faint of heart. So please understand when I tell you sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne Bennett, for that lovely message that has stuck with me for the last 4 years now. That has been a repeated mantra in my head for the last 4 years. And until tonight and the next time,